Hello, everybody, and welcome to Kyrus Has Friends, the TV show where I sit down with the people that matter to me the most, and those people are my friends. Today, I have a very special guest that I'm looking forward to catching up with, but before we get to her, if you're interested in anything that you're watching right now, please be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram at The Vibe with Kai. You can also follow me on Snapchat and TikTok at Kyrus Keenan. And we made this big announcement last week, but there is finally Vibe with Kai merchandise. That is insane to even say, but people have been buying their stuff, and you can get your Vibe with Kai merchandise. Go to my website, thevibewithkai.com, click on merchandise, get your stuff. We just ran out of all of the hats. I don't know when we're going to get hats again, so get your stuff because people are buying this stuff. So that way you can represent the Vibe and the Vibe family. But enough about me, enough about my ventures. I'm sitting here with somebody that means the absolute world to me. Somebody that entered my life out of absolutely nowhere. At no point did I ever think that I would be blessed with her presence, and her incredible personality and comedy and cheerfulness, and I'm just grateful to have you in my life. So I'm sitting here with fitness instructor, artist, friend, everything, all of the above, Miss Brianne Applegate. Hi.
Hi.
I'm so excited to be here. We were saying right before we started rolling here that we met well over 10 years ago at Rider University. We're both Rider Bronx for life. Yes, but we'll get into that in a second. Before we get into that, I want to check in on you because obviously many of us around the world have been stuck in quarantine, and there is a deadly virus that has been ravaging the world. How are you? How is your family? How has everything been while in quarantine?
Yeah, right. It's funny, and I think so many of us can identify with the ebbs and flows of quarantine, right? Like in the beginning, everybody was like, "Oh, cool, we can stay home and watch Netflix and time." That was really awesome. And
Yes.
then, like, oh, wait, so kind of like 3 sizes bigger. I can't put my jeans on. I've been on my days for like 4 days straight. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
and then I was like, the next day I was like, yeah, I'm going to work out. So
Yeah.
there literally was like I was riding the wave of
Yes.
quarantine. And I'll be honest with you, it's been really hard for me because I'm not going to be like these inspirational, like it's been hard.
It is hard. I think people don't realize that because like you know me, like I live a life full of like good vibes and positive energy. But one thing that people don't realize is that like it's been hard for us too because we have to find a way to still stay positive and uplift others while we're still struggling with the same stuff. And I never shy away from the shit that I have to go through, because it just makes it more genuine, and what are some of the things that like you have to deal with just on a daily basis in quarantine?
Oh, that I have to do?
Oh, that you have to deal with. Like, what are some of the struggles? Yeah.
Deal with like emptying my bank account because I'm purchasing wine. Like, dealing with $10 because I'm like, well, I need this Pinot Noir to get me through Wednesday. So, what am I dealing with? When I say dealing, listen, I'm so fortunate. I have a house, I have a home, I have food in my fridge.
Yes.
I really cannot freaking complain. I have the movie channel, like I'm still working, like, thank you, God. Just, you really learn a lot about each other when you're together 24/7, and then plus he has 3 kids.
Yes.
Wonderful and amazing. But then also dealing with, parents who have kids and now they're homeschooling.
Right.
So you have your kids, and we aren't, we don't have them consecutively every day.
Right.
But, it's hard for the kids too. Like I have friends that are guys who have younger children and they're homeschooling and they're pre-K, kindergarten grade, and they're like, "What?" And the parents, I'm gonna
right. But you push through and you do it because that's what as adults, that's what we have. That's what we have to do now. We were just saying it's crazy how you remember back in our college days, like the only thing that we ever really had to worry about was whether we had our homework done. You know, like that's it. We had to worry about getting to class on time. Like that was our worry of the day. It's like, oh no, I didn't do that paper. Oh no, life.
How the times, right?
It's crazy. But like, so speaking of college, right? So one of the reasons why Bree is just so meaningful to me is that, for those of you that don't know, Bree was my first friend ever at Rider University. I had transferred over. I went to Mercer County Community College, and then I transferred over to Rider University. I knew absolutely no one. I was like, people think that like I'm an extrovert, and in a way I am, but I think I'm probably one of the most introverted extroverts you'll ever meet in your life. And Bree introduced herself to me, and I didn't have a choice. She was just like, "We're friends now. We're hanging out." And I was like, "Okay, hi,
Yeah.
I'm Kyrus." And then we would go and hang out. I remember we would have lunch. After our first class together, we would go and sit in Cranberries for like hours.
Hours. I know.
Hours, and just sit and like chill and just talk and all of that.
And it was awesome. Our friendship was awesome.
I agree. I agree. Like you. Oh my gosh, I'm so thankful for you, and we became so close. And I honestly don't know how my college life would have went without you in it.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
I'm serious. I'm serious. You know, because you are an incredible just person, and we made so many fun memories, and you were always bold and exciting, and like, were you always like that, like, you know, growing up, or like just so outgoing and accepting, and just like where did that come from?
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you, and we're going to change gears a little bit, but you know, it didn't really start until after 2008, after I was in this car accident.
Right. I was gonna ask if you wanted to talk about that or not. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But that's when it changed. And so you know, when you go through a very traumatic experience, I'm sure, as you know, all of a sudden the universe and God gifts you empathy and positivity and finding the joy, because you have to. It's not there, you know, finding the joy in every single situation. And it was definitely after that. I was not
right. And you went through so much. Like your path to recovery, physically, mentally, after such an incident is so inspiring, because Lord knows it was not easy. But you fought, and now you are just, you know, changing the world because of it. Like, how much of your life do you feel is defined by those moments of fighting to recover?
That's a really great question.
Thank you.
You know, I always say that there was life before this accident, and for the viewers who, you know, it wasn't just a car accident. It was a very bad car accident. I'm wearing my seatbelt. I had a really bad frontal lobe damage, broke my neck, broke my rib, punctured my lungs. So then I had to relearn how to do everything over again. And my memory's still affected. I used to sing. That's why how kind of Kai and I were in the same, well, you were in the same, what were you, an MT major or
I was a what was that? I was fine arts. Fine arts, yeah.
I don't know what we were.
I don't know what we were either.
I don't know. But anyway, I was originally a music theater major. Then the accident happened, screwed up my vocal cord. So then I had to change to regular theater, whatever. So that's the background. That's it. Very, very hard recovery, rehab, you know, cognitive, all that stuff. But there was life before the accident and life after. And so how, you know, I heard this quote, and this is for a lot of people. The strongest metal is forged through the hottest fire, right? And it's true. Like literally made stronger through the flames. There's an amazing quote by Spurgeon. Charles Spurgeon was a great guy. Said, the juniper plant exudes the sweetest smell when it's pounded. You know, it just is, it's so true for all of us, for people that are going through what they're going through right now. You know, it's so true. All that struggle makes us smarter and better afterwards. We don't see it when we're going through it, though. It's
right. That's the thing, because like when you're you know, physically recovering and just working your ass off to get back to some sort of sense of normalcy, in the moment you don't realize how strong it's making you. But I feel like I've met you at such a very interesting point, because our paths crossed, you know, because you were probably like a year removed or so from, you know, recovering from your accident, and I was just coming over from community college, where I was still in a way deciding what exactly I wanted to do with my life. I was still very confused. I didn't know if this was even the right decision. You know, I was just going with my gut, and I'm so happy I did, because I got to meet people like you that was coming from where you were coming from, and you were like using your experience to uplift others. And here's the crazy thing, Brie. I don't think I actually knew about your accident until a little bit later, because it's not like you came out and were just like, hey, guess what happened to me? Like you were just naturally, you know, outgoing and loving and caring, and like you just accepted me, and I was just like, oh, she's cool. Right. And then as we got to know each other, I was like, wait, she's been through some shit, and she is one of the most inspiring people that I've met. And like I'm gonna fawn over you for like the next like 10-15 minutes, because I've always been in awe of you and you and everything that you do. And so like even today for you, do you ever, like, even with all of the things that you went through and to continue to go through and all of that, do you still find it hard sometimes, given everything that's going on society wise, worldwide, just protests and all of these things? Do you find it hard to find that positivity that you worked so hard to build up and perfect, I guess, in a way?
Yeah, I do. You know, it's not this. Practice does make perfect. Like, you have to work at it every day. For me personally, I'm, you know, because I teach classes too, so it's like, to be that for other people is another story. But for myself, you know, when the world is falling apart around you, everywhere you look, there's discourse and violence and division, and it's like, how do I not succumb to this deep, dark place of hatred? Or, you know, and I have to pray. What else can you do? I have to pray. I have to force myself. I have to look in the mirror, and literally it's words of affirmation. I don't wake up and, you know, see something on Facebook and I'm like happy right afterwards. I'm like screwed the rest of the day. I'm like, I cannot believe that this is happening. It's, for me, it's thinking. I have to think it and speak it, because our words are so powerful, and they can give life or death. And I have to speak positivity, because it's so easy to fall into the negative. So for me, it's as simple as looking in the mirror and being like, you look good.
Yes.
You're awesome. You're smart. It's going to be a good day. I have to write down, Kai, at the end of the night, I try to do it, 10 things that I'm grateful for. Wait,
no lie, Brie. I keep this right next to my bed. I do the same exact thing, except I do 5 things. I wrote down 5 things. That I write. Yeah, I do. I write down 5 things that make me that I'm grateful for. Yeah, it's a great thing. It's so fun. And what I do, and you might do the same thing, is I'll actually read them the next morning as well. You know, just so I can start off my day on a positive note and be like, these are the things that I was grateful for yesterday. What does that mean for today?
As small and maybe. Thank you for that Pop-Tart that came out just right and not too burnt. Thank you.
It's hard to get that Pop-Tart right. Legit. Legit. So one of the dumb things that I wrote
Yeah,
in here is so I got a new office chair in my home office, and
okay.
I wrote that I was happy for my new office chair, which I built. I was so proud of it. It rolls perfectly. What's up?
You built it?
Okay. I
Put it
didn't
together.
build it from scratch. I put it together. Yes,
Yeah, that's
and
a
I
big
was so happy with myself. So I'm thankful for that. Damn it.
see. No, 100% right. Listen, depending on where you got it, I'm not gonna like, talk about places. I can't.
Yes.
But you build something and you finally and you see it and you're like,
Yes.
I'm proud of you for doing that. Good for
Thank you,
you.
Bree. And guess what? I'm comfortable on my office chair, and I'm happy. So,
Oh, good. Oh, I'm so happy to
yeah.
do that. It makes
Um.
it it makes a difference.
So I want to talk about you as an artist, right? Because I follow you on the Instagram, as the young kids call it.
Dude, fine.
Um. So you paint and draw and all of that. Were you always that artistic? Like, because you're pretty damn good. Like, what? Like, were you always like that, or is that something that you discovered later in life?
Happened after the accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
these it's like this part of my brain that wasn't really activated all of a sudden like came
Yeah.
into what is the word I'm looking for? I don't even know what
Came
that
into
word is. But
fruition, I guess. Yeah.
sure, right. It
Yeah.
just like started working.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I don't do it as much as I want to do it,
Hmm.
but yeah, it was never my mother's an artist.
Oh wow.
Um
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and I think that kind of rubbed off on me a little bit.
Yes. Mhm.
But yeah, I wasn't usually like that. But now I am. So
Yeah. But you're so good at it. Do you like sell it too, or do you just like just do it just for? Oh my gosh, it's so
so
cool.
I do commissions and
Okay.
reproduction, large scale abstract pieces. Um,
Wow.
in case anybody wants any art. I actually did that there. I did that one. That one's cool actually. That's a man with bongos. I did a lot. I lived in South Africa for 2 years.
Yes. Yeah.
Did a
Yeah.
lot there. Yeah, I sell them. I love large scale, big, colorful
Yeah.
paintings. Feel something, when you
Right.
see it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna ask about your travel because you've been very fortunate to be able to travel the world and to see so many places. Is that just like kind of like a bucket list kind of thing, or like what inspired you to just be like, I'm going to travel the world?
Well, we had been very, very fortunate and very blessed to have a family member who was a lot better off, than we were, and
Yeah,
really, as kids, allow us and take us along their travels. So,
right.
since I was a kid, really, a lot, mostly Europe, though, and places in Europe.
Hmm.
Um, and then I was on vacation in South Africa
Yeah,
at a at a party actually for this family member,
yeah,
and project manager was South African, and we like hit it off and
yeah.
danced the whole night at this party and then hooked up. And then the next day I was supposed to leave, and I was like, I can't leave you. And he's like, well, leave and then come back. And so I left, and then I came back and I moved there for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
I yeah, I was like, you know what, we literally only have one time to be on this pile of
Yes.
dirt.
Yes.
It's a sin and I'm not talking
Mhm.
about like the sin to not travel, like
Right.
go anywhere, go down the street, like
Yes.
but yeah, I've done South Africa and the other countries in Africa, and then
Right.
we Thailand a couple of
Yeah.
ago.
Is
um
there any place that you haven't gone that you really want to go to?
Morocco.
Morocco. Okay.
Morocco.
I thought you were going to say Haddon Heights, New Jersey, because that's where I live, and I have not seen you in forever and a day.
Yeah, I actually do. That's actually on my next.
It better be. It better be, damn it.
Yeah, I'm a,
That's so cool that you get to like travel, that you've gotten to travel, and I would imagine like once it's safe again, that you want to just do some more traveling, when you can, and all of that. Like that's always been something I've wanted to do that I've never had a chance to. I've traveled the country. I've traveled the United States, but I've never left the States. and I want to travel Europe. I want to go to Europe. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to Africa. My mom was in Africa for 2 weeks, and she loved it. She was in South Africa for 2 weeks.
Oh,
She was in South Africa. Yeah, in Cape Town. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she loved every second of it. Like, she's like, you need to go. I'm like, I need to go. I need to go see my people.
No, true, and that's, you know, they say it's the heart of Africa, and you're like, well, okay, and then you go there, and you're like, like, I was blown away, and I fell in love with the country. I fell in love with the people and the culture and the music and the food and love. So yeah, that's, you have to go.
I'm going to make it there eventually. One day. So I want to talk about your just fitness that you do. So so you do this really cool thing. You're one of the, like, you do all kinds of fitness instruction, but the one thing that stands out to me is you do like the trampoline work, right? Where people like can work out on the trampoline.
Yeah.
What? How? I get exhausted, like any video that you put up. I get exhausted just looking at you guys doing that. How the heck do you do that?
It's a mini trampoline, and it has a handle like a T-bar that you can hold on to, like you're like riding on a Bronco or something.
Yeah.
What's really amazing about it is that the health benefits are insane.
Sure.
Brain, like I'm talking about, I have 70-year-olds who do this because amazing for your joints. And if you have bad knees, do you have bad knees? I feel like
I had a bad knee. My left knee was hyperextended. So like I always had like a bad knee, but I ruptured my Achilles in the fall of 2018. That was the bad injury that I had. I ruptured my Achilles.
So maybe, like, maybe not do this.
Yeah, probably not. I want to though.
I was gonna be like, hey, but it's your joints. It's lymph nodes. It drains your lymph nodes. I mean, it's like the benefits, sanity. But it's like dancing on the tramp too.
Yeah.
And jumping, and the cardio is like it's like low impact, high intensity. So it's like, why wouldn't you want to do it? And I love it.
I see you, and you're so enthusiastic too. Like you have your microphone on, and you're like pumping people up and all that. You're like, let's go.
Listen, when you're trying to motivate people jumping, you can't be like, all right, moving on.
Right.
Move.
How long is like each like exercise? Like each like I guess night.
It's 50 minutes.
Okay.
45, 50. I mean, listen, to be honest, to break a sweat, you only need 10.
Yeah.
The cardiovascular is better than running, it's safer than running, better than dancing. It's safer than dancing as far as like a cardio workout.
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you, and how did you discover this? This is something that, did you go to a class and you're like, oh, this is cool, I'm going to look more into it? Or were you just like, I'm just going to go for it? It
was an ad on Craigslist. And I actually don't work at the studio that I first started at any longer. In this quarantine, I just quit everything. So we're just going to, I was like, maybe it's time to just start over. So, but when I first started, it was this Craigslist ad, and it didn't even say what it was. And then she's like, hey, do you want to do this? And I was like, well, sure. So I just made it up as I went along.
That's amazing.
To be honest.
And you killed it. And like, I'm just, oh my God, Brie, I'm so happy right now. Like, this is like, in fact, right now in my journal, I'm going to legit write.
Right in your
write this down right now. So this is going to go up on a Tuesday, and we're filming on a Saturday, but I'm going to write down this anyway for today's the 6th, right? Yeah. So June 6th, 2020, the first thing that I'm thankful for today, talking with Brie.
Oh, okay.
Because you've always meant the world to me. You were my first friend, dare I say my first crush at Rider University.
Yes. It was heavy for a second.
It was heavy. It was heavy.
And then we fought like every day. So it was like, okay, well then maybe not. No.
Yeah, but we still like stayed friends, and I love you, and I will always continue to love you and support you. And I hope that once this whole thing is said and done, and we're allowed to go outside, you know, that that we can catch up. I love New Hope, so I will happily come to where you are and visit.
Also, that was our spot for a
Yeah,
second.
New Hope is a beautiful, beautiful area, and there's a lot of great restaurants there and all that. So once this is said and done, it's not a choice. So just like you didn't give me a choice to whether to be your friend or not, I'm not giving you a choice of whether to hang out. Like I'm just gonna tell you, like Bree, Friday, be there, and you're gonna be like, okay, let's go.
Yes, absolutely.
I love you. Thank you so much for sitting with me, and I love you to death, and I can't wait to see you again.
I love you too. I'm so proud of you. Okay, this is awesome, and I'm proud of you, and I love you, and I pray for you, and this is a great thing that.
I appreciate that more than you know.
Okay.
Everybody else, if you enjoyed what you're watching today, please be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Vibe with Kai. Follow me on Snapchat and on TikTok at Kyrus Keenan. If you follow me on Snapchat, I do have a rule. If you send me a picture of you smiling, I will send a picture of me smiling right back, because I do believe that smiles are meant to be shared with everyone. And then once again, you can visit my website, thevibewithkai.com, if you're looking for blogs and videos about how to do good, be good, feel good, and live a good life full of good vibes. And then you can get your Vibe with Kai t-shirts and hats and all that stuff, and support each other and just live in a life full of positivity. So everybody, thank you for watching. Good vibes. We did it.